Hi guys, good evening. Please few minutes. Let me see how to set up. Hi everyone. Please do well to indicate if you can hear me. And for the moment, I might have some glitches for the first few minutes. Please just do well to indicate if you can hear me. I'm waiting for your reply, guys. All right, thank you. Just give some few minutes. Let's see if some other people will join. Do well to also remind them on Slack. I can't access Slack right now. If you can remind them on Slack to join us, let them join us before we continue. Well, guys, I discovered you guys are not asking questions, but you like to join the office hours. How do you expect you? What do you want me to talk about on the office hours when there are no questions? Literally, right now there are no questions actually. So, well, there are just about three questions which I am going to go through. So I'm going to go over those questions right now, and maybe we could dig into other things after that. But please do well to always ask questions because without questions, we will likely not have office hours. Yesterday, I couldn't make it because of some circumstances here. There was blackout, and there was nothing I could do about that. But if there were questions, I would have managed to actually host a meeting. And I actually had some sessions with some few students. uh, yeah, I'll try to discuss what we discussed in the sessions because it was their personal problem. They wanted to get some clarifications. So I'll just try to discuss them here with you guys. And yeah, I think that is it. Let me just go to the questions. I hope you guys can hear me quite well. So, going to the questions, there are just three new questions here, which I'm going to see how to go through them. Okay, somebody is making mention of the fact that they cannot submit their question and answer. I can't submit my assignment, the question and answer part of arrays in PHP. It's not clicking. I click and click submit. It's not going. Please help before deadline. This is week 2, right? Arrays, questions about arrays is week 3, sorry. And so what are you trying to submit that is not submitting? What are you clicking that is not going? It's basic, it's probably your network. You should have some network glitches. I don't think there is a problem with that. Guys, who has tried to submit the week 3 assignment? Are you facing difficulty with it? Maybe it's a new thing. Just indicate if you had those kind of problems. All right, while you indicate on the chat section, I'll also go to the next question. Uh, have we actually started the training, and are the full stack student expected to learn both the front end and back end at the same time? This is a repeating question. The training started 2 weeks ago. How can you be asking this kind of question? Yes, the program has started. This is week 3, I think so. So if you have not been accessing the assignments, then you're actually late, like very late. I hope you have been able to register your courses, because that's another thing. If you have not been able to register, then it might take grace for you to actually register it. Okay, so the program has started, and for the full stack students, yes, you are learning front end and back end at the same time. The front end courses provided, and their back end courses provided, and the assignments provided. So you work with the two. That is what the full stack is all about. Okay, so somebody just asked a question. Let me see. I think so. Uh, Somebody is saying, okay, I'll come to that. Can you please expatiate more on how to save the user data from the form into a CSV file, or are we supposed to manually write into that? This question, please, the person who asked this question, I want you to remind me whether files are in which week. Is it week 3? If it's week 3, let me know so I can walk you through. But I'll come back to this. And another person is asking, can I walk? So please walk us through how to get the link from Github for the week 2 and 3. Oh, week 2 and 3, how to get the link from GitHub. Multiple choice questions. Guys, can you hear me, please? All right then. So let me go to the GitHub stuff. But I really want to know, like I am asking a question here. Which link are you trying to get? Okay, but let me just navigate to GitHub so we see what you're talking about. So for example, hopefully you can see my screen. I'll navigate to github.com. My username is, and so this is my GitHub account. And okay, so probably you're asking how to get the link to submit. Okay, so for example, if you have your work like complaint system or whatever, this was another test that we're doing some time ago. If you have your work like this, now how do you submit this repository? If it's just a GitHub URL, basically what you need to do to submit this, you just need to come to the repository name where you have at the top here, right click and copy link address. Okay, that is actually going to get the link to the repository. Or you come to where you see this code button, you click on it and you get the HTTP link. Okay, so with this you can actually just click on this, you're going to copy the link. I don't know if that is the answer to your question. Please, and I really need the person who asked this question to be here so that we know what exactly he was asking. Because as of last class, we actually went through cloning a repository and doing stuffs on it. So if it's about that, you could visit our last session. That was answered there. Oh, sugar, that was you. All right. But I think does this help? What I just did, does it help? All right, thank you. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try to actually work with forms. All right. So guys, I need the other people. Can you guys get them? Can you guys inform them to join so that they don't have to ask this question again? All right. I want to I just want to go a bit on forms so that thank you. So what I'm going to do. Okay, before I go to forms, sugar, please. This is my GitHub, right? So, have you been able to clone the repository and do the work and push it back? If you have done that, to submit the link, what you need in that submission is just to come to the repository, right? Let me go back to my account. So this is my account. I go to repositories And basically, you are going to see the repository where your work is. That is, if you have done it. And what you need to do is just to right click on this link that is there, like the name of the repository. You're going to see copy link, right? Just copy the link address, and that is going to be a submission. Like when you want to submit, just paste that link, and that will be all. You don't need anything extra, except that you have a problem at the level of cloning a repository and doing so, which for you to actually get that up and running, you should go to, I think there are a lot of courses on this workspace provided by Zuri for Git and GitHub. And also the last session we had, we were doing Git and GitHub. We did some stuff there. You could actually get some knowledge on it too. Is that okay? All right, so let me see how if I can go through this and answer the questions that are there. So the task to write into CSV, are we using F write? The question is not clear. But anyway, but to write to CSV file, you could use F write, right? It will definitely go. You could also use F put CSV. That will also go. So there are several ways to write into file. What you were taught was, I think the video uses F write, and a more effective way to do that will be F put CSV. So I think that there. Let me see something. Uh, Can you indicate if you can see my screen? I'm going to search something here about uh, writing into files with PHP. I hope you guys can actually see my screen. So there is F write, and let me see, writing into CSV files. Let me use that to be specific. So, PHP CSV. That will help. What I'm trying to show you right now is that you could actually do Google search. Okay, you don't necessarily, yeah. So if you have problems, you do you can. Okay, so to write into CSV file, you use fput CSV. Switch to my editor, and I'm going to CSV, and there's also another thing for those who are using Linux. Most of the times your file does not have permission. So you have to always check if your file has permission. Somebody keeps saying I should increase my letters. I mean, I am zooming to the highest right now. I think you should try, except that you're using your phone. Maybe it's because you're using your phone that you're having problems. Because with my computer, it's very clear right now. Okay, so one thing, when you want to use when you want to use files in Linux, This is for people who are using Linux. Most of the times your file does not have permission. For example, if I want to check the file permission, uh, ls minus l, then the name of the file, you'll see that this file has only read and write. It doesn't have execute. And most of the users do not have all of that permission. So if you are doing some dummy things in your computer, there is this thing that you need to type to give all the permissions to your file. And that is going to be sudo change mode. For all users, just give the read, write, execute, right? For all the files. That would be good. But this is when you're going towards the level of development or deployment, most of this does not count much. You don't need to do this. So what I want you to guys to do, for those using Linux, give this permission to the file, because a lot of people got to me about them not being able to open the file, and I discovered that it was file permission. Okay, so I'll give the write privileges to this file so that we actually see now how to write into CSV. So I'll put something, let me give a file, f put csv.php. That's the name of the file that is used to write to a file. Okay, so let me give some data. So my data, let me give it to, let's say, do I need this? I'll just give without keys. And gmail.com. So that is some data, and I want to write into this file. Sorry, I want to write into this file. So first thing, I want to define my file, and for me to define that file right now, I can use the fopen, which is used to open a file. When I hover over it, you see a file name, this. So fopen is used to open a file, and you give the mode. So first thing that fopen takes, right, is the name of the file. So the name of my file is called file.csv, and then the mode in which I want to open the file. So when you want to open the file, there are about three modes. There is the write mode, there is the append mode, and there is the read mode. The write mode is used to write into a file. Like some of the times it just replaces the contents of a file. Append mode is used to add at the end of a file. So if you have done Python before, you know what append means. So it's to add to the end of an array, something like that. So append mode uses A to append to a file. That is, you are not overwriting what already exists. Okay. Now, I will check if the file was opened. This check is not necessary. Okay. Let me see something. Echo file opened. For now, I'm not going to do any extra thing. Let me do an else here. Echo file could not be opened. All right, so at the beginning, this one just tries to open a file. So this is a file, okay? It tries to open this file with fopen. Now, literally, you will want to do this like fopen file.csv in append mode. But most of the times you want to actually know if the file was open. So this fopen file returns a boolean if the file was open or not, and that is why I used this variable to get the return of this. Okay, so literally I could just print this out. Control X, echo file. Let's see what this prints out. Okay, now I'm going to go to my terminal. Guys, are you hearing me? I'm going to go to my terminal right now and just execute this file, f put csv.php and resource ID equal to this. So it actually returns it. So now, if I try to check if there was a file, right? Like if there was a file, I think I should go back to where I was before. All right, so if there was a file, then print something else, print something. So let's check if this file was opened. And in this case, we actually see that the file was opened, right? So this is the check I'm going to do when I open this file. And literally, we've not done anything here, like we've not written into the file yet. Okay, so this file has been opened. The next thing is that we want to write into the file. So in this case, it's a CSV file. I'm going to use fput CSV. That is the best way to write to a CSV file. And you are going to pass in the first argument. If you notice my what is popping up here, so it's a file stream and the name of the file that you've opened, right? So if you notice here, there's this file that I defined, which is a file that I've opened. So I'm going to write into this file, and then the next thing is, what am I writing into the file? Is this data that I defined up here, that John 25 and so on. Okay, so that is the next thing. So we have written into this file, and we can just simply maybe echo something, file written. Okay, this one just says the file has been written, else we should print file could not be opened. I don't know if you got this. The first thing to do, you open the file, right? This is how you open a file. Use the open, the name of the file, then the mode you're using to open the file. Then the next thing, you can then do whatever you want to, maybe some checks to check if the file was opened or not. You guys could really try this out if you were with your machines so that we all go together. So I'm going to try to run this PHP file.php, and I see file opened, and the next thing, file written. Now let's check if the file was written, right? So the data is John 25 and this at gmail.com. So let me go now to the file.csv. You actually see this data, right? Now let it not be as if uh, we had this already. Let's try to write in another thing. Like, okay, let me define another data, second data, and let's say Jane 25 Jane at gmail.com, right? And this is data 2. So let me write data 2, just passing data 2 here instead of data 1. Now, when we run this, let's see if we are still going to have that in our CSV file. Clear php fput csv.php. So if we have this, we still see file open, file written, and you come back here, you actually see this Jane. Okay, that is how you write into a file. So you want to first make sure that the file is open, because most of you will get error because your file could not be opened. I am saying this especially for the Linux people that are going to have that file could not be opened or so on. I'm going to try to change this thing back. Let me change this file again to its previous permission. PHP, sorry, sudo change mode a minus 8. Okay, clear. So sorry, ls minus -l, and most of them just have the right permission. So literally now, if I try to run this again, PHP, you see this error now, could not open file. This is because the file does not have permission. Now I'm just showing you that some of the times you might be having this problem that you could not open file because of permissions error. Okay, so let me change back the mode to where it was before. We are back to this. All right. Okay, so this is how you can get data and write into a file. So you guys really want me to have a session and do the assignment with you guys. Anyway, I'm going to try something like that. Okay. So I have form.php, and this form, let's assume, let me see. Let me try to make something better here for front end people. Uh, link bootstrap. Then okay, I have bootstrap CDN here, and so let me see a simple form that will take in some data. Simple registration form, right? And what I'm basically going to take is something like name, email, and stuff like that. Okay, don't mind whatever I see here. Some stuffs are just automatically generated because I configured like that. I'll not want to take a lot of time doing stuff. Okay, so I have this basic form, and this is Bootstrap. Okay, so I literally have. I hope that I'm inside htdoc so that I can render this. So I have a container class that will contain my form, and I have a row, and within this row I have some columns. In fact, front end you will be taught this, okay? But this is just Bootstrap that I use to actually style my form. I don't want to put CSS any longer. So let me see if I can open this. So let me open terminal. Clear. Okay, so let me start XAMPP. For Linux people, this is how you start XAMPP. You don't necessarily need to go and click like the other people. Okay, so I'm starting XAMPP right now because I want to render whatever was there on the browser. On the Okay, so oh, my password is wrong. See, okay, so XAMPP is starting, and cool. So let me go to my browser and try to render whatever was there. Localhost /learning/PHP. Yeah, click like I mean. Okay, so these are the files there, and there is this file that I want to open called form.php, and this is my registration form, very big, of course. Okay, this is my simple registration form that takes in the name, the email, the password, and the confirm password. You see, I've just started this without having to write a lot of CSS. So Bootstrap is actually nice. So okay, we have this, and I don't want confirm password because, well, I don't need anything like that now. Okay. So, first thing, let's talk about forms now. Now, forms are very necessary in PHP because it is through forms that you're able to collect user data from the front end. Okay. So, and form, I think you have gone through the course already. Form have several methods, and with PHP, there are ways you use forms. First thing, let's talk about the form methods. Now, form has several methods. You have the post, you have the get, you have the put, and so on. But in this, we are going to do just put of post, because post is usually used to send data, right? Just as the name state, post, we are sending data, let's say, to the back end, right? We've collected this data and we want to send it to the back end for processing and so on. So we use a post method. It doesn't mean get will not even do it. The problem is that with the get method, you are going to actually see some useful information on your URL. Firstly, let me just mean. So well, this one, we have this form now and it's submitting to itself. So let me refresh. We don't have this, so let me give some name. I like this name called Sugar though. So we have that, right? Now, if I click on register, I want you guys to take note of something, okay? Look at the browser